The sonar screen pulsed, a green ghost against the black abyss. Then, a blip, not a familiar echo of a sunken wreck, nor the indistinct scatter of geological chaos. This was something massive, unnatural, perfectly circular. It was June 2011, on the floor of the northern Baltic Sea, deep within the Gulf of Bothnia, a region often shrouded in ancient myth and dark wartime secrets. Peter Lindbergh and Dennis Asberg, seasoned treasure hunters with their Ocean X team, had seen a lot. Sunken ships, lost cargo, the detritus of centuries. But this was different. This was a signature that shouldn't exist, a perfect symmetry in a world defined by the random. Their vessel, the Ancylus, a former minesweeper, sliced through the frigid Baltic waters, its instruments probing the depths. Below, a world of perpetual twilight, cold and silent, where pressure crushed and light failed. The team was on the hunt for a rumored shipwreck, perhaps even a trove of antique champagne, a relatively mundane pursuit. Instead, their state-of-the-art high-resolution, multi-beam sonar painted an impossible picture. A disk, nearly 60 meters in diameter, perfectly round, with an accompanying 400-meter-long drag mark stretching out behind it. It looked, for lack of a better word, like something immense had slid across the seabed, carving a path, then simply stopped, settling into the mud. The initial sonar images were indistinct, blurry, yet compelling. They showed an object with features that defied natural geological explanation. Straight lines where nature usually offers curves. Geometric precision where chaos should reign. The news, when it finally leaked to the Swedish press, exploded. Tabloids screamed, "Sunken UFO! The Baltic Anomaly!" The world's attention, briefly, intensely, turned to a dark, cold corner of the sea, captivated by the primal fear of the unknown lurking in the deep. But speculation is one thing. Verification is another. The Ocean X team, despite their experience and professional equipment, were not scientists. They were explorers, driven by a thirst for discovery, but limited by logistics and funding. The deep sea is an expensive mistress, demanding resources, time, and specialized equipment. It took a full, agonizing year, amidst a maelstrom of media hype and relentless financial strain, before they could mount a return expedition. June 2012. The stakes were impossibly high. The world was waiting, breathless. The submersible finally descended, its powerful lights piercing the inky blackness, cutting through the swirling sediment stirred by its approach. Visibility was poor, the water murky, yet what their high-definition cameras finally captured sent shivers down their spines and across the globe. It wasn't just a disk. It was a massive, cylindrical object, roughly 60 meters wide and 8 meters thick. And it wasn't smooth, amorphous, or naturally eroded. It had what appeared to be stair-like formations, 90-degree angles, and perfectly straight walls, leading up to a flat, disc-like top. Features that simply do not occur naturally on the ocean floor, especially not in such pristine, structured symmetry. Stefan Hogborn, one of the veteran divers on the expedition, described it chillingly. "It's a huge mushroom," he stated, "or a large object more like a roundabout." He spoke of perfectly round holes, almost unervingly uniform, like portholes and strange formations of hard rock that defied any known geological classification. Another diver, Dennis Asberg himself, mentioned a black hole in the middle, a void, almost as if something had been extracted or had melted through. But perhaps the most unsettling detail came from reports of scorched circles, areas of blackness surrounding the object, as if an immense heat had been applied, as if something had landed, or perhaps even violently crashed. The team also reported strange electromagnetic phenomena as they approached the anomaly. Their satellite phones, usually robust, ceased to function. Their dive equipment, typically reliable in the most extreme conditions, malfunctioned sporadically. It was as if the object itself was emitting some kind of energy field, interfering with modern technology, creating an invisible barrier. Was it residual from an ancient event? Or was it actively emanating a silent pulse from the deep? The question hung heavy in the cold, silent water, adding to the growing unease. The drag mark they had initially seen on sonar was even more pronounced up close, a monumental testament to an unimaginable force. A 300-meter furrow, perfectly straight, plowing through the seabed sediment, ending abruptly at the precise edge of the anomaly. What titanic force could carve such a path? A force powerful enough to move an object of this immense size across the ocean floor. And why did it stop so suddenly, so cleanly, leaving a perfect impression? It suggested intelligence, or at least direction, adding another profound layer to the enigma. The team also discovered a second, smaller, disc-shaped object approximately 200 meters from the main anomaly. This secondary object was equally baffling, presenting similar geometric features, although on a smaller scale. Was it related? A smaller piece of the same impossible puzzle? Or an entirely separate mystery, placed eerily close to its larger counterpart, suggesting a pattern, a purpose, a hidden network? The Baltic Sea, it seemed, held more chilling secrets than anyone could have ever imagined, secrets far beyond mere shipwrecks. Geologists and oceanographers, observing the limited, blurry evidence from afar, quickly offered rational explanations, attempting to fit the anomaly into known scientific frameworks. It was a glacial erratic, they said, a massive boulder, perfectly rounded by eons of erosion, deposited by retreating glaciers during the last ice age. Or perhaps a pillow lava formation, a common geological structure formed when lava erupts underwater, cooling rapidly into rounded, pillow-like shapes. These theories offered a rational, comforting framework, but the dive team, those who had seen it with their own eyes, touched its cold, hard surface, disagreed vehemently, their direct observations clashing with academic conjecture. A glacial deposit doesn't have perfectly round holes, Lindbergh argued, his voice laced with frustration. It doesn't have straight walls and 90-degree angles. It doesn't have what look like steps leading up to a platform, or an apparent structure that implies design. The scorched circles that documented electromagnetic interference, the sheer, undeniable symmetry of the object. These details simply didn't fit the natural explanations, pushing the boundaries of conventional understanding. So if not natural, then what? The theories began to multiply, each more outlandish than the last, yet each attempting to grapple with the impossible reality that something fundamentally unknown lay beneath the waves. One theory suggests it's a forgotten relic of the Cold War. The Baltic Sea was a highly contested area, a silent battleground for submarines and surveillance, a region rife with classified projects. Could it be a secret anti-submarine device, a sonar reflector, or some experimental military technology, perhaps even a sunken prototype? Its size and unusual shape, however, don't perfectly align with any known military hardware from that era. And the scorched earth effect, the electromagnetic disturbance, remains unexplained by conventional weaponry or known historical projects. Another possibility, deeply unsettling in its implications, posits a much older origin. Could be a meteorite impact, a massive celestial body striking the ocean floor, creating a perfect circular crater and leaving behind a dense, metallic core. But meteorites rarely create such clean, geometric forms, nor do they typically leave behind symmetrical staircases or perfectly round holes. The impact zone would be far more chaotic, the object itself shattered or distorted. Then there's the theory that captured the public's imagination, fueled by the initial tabloid frenzy and the compelling, if blurry, images. A sunken UFO, an unidentified submerged object, something not of this Earth, or at least not of human design or known terrestrial origin. The perfect disk shape, the alleged electromagnetic interference, the apparent landing or crash marks, the geometric precision. They all paint a picture that aligns chillingly with popular conceptions of extraterrestrial craft. The idea that something alien, something profoundly other, lies silently, perfectly preserved at the bottom of our own planet's waters is a profoundly unsettling thought, challenging our place in the cosmos. The Baltic Sea Anomaly remains largely uninvestigated by official scientific bodies. Funding is scarce, diverted to more conventional research. The logistics are difficult, requiring specialized deep-sea equipment. And perhaps, just perhaps, there's a subconscious reluctance, a collective trepidation, to discover what might truly lie beneath. To confront an object that defies every known principle of geology, physics, and human engineering. To open a door to a reality we are not yet prepared to understand. Years have passed since the initial discovery. The anomaly still rests there, in the dark, cold embrace of the Baltic. A silent sentinel, shrouded in sediment and mystery. A perfectly circular question mark etched into the seabed of our world. What secrets does it hold, waiting to be unearthed? What knowledge, or what terror, would be unleashed if its true nature were finally revealed? The ocean, vast and unforgiving, keeps its counsel, its depths hiding truths we can barely comprehend. And the anomaly waits, watching, silently, forever.